Mark and Suzy had been married for 10 years. Suzy brought her daughter Cynthia into the marriage, a bright and beautiful young woman who had recently turned 21. They lived in a cozy home in Lagos, and to outsiders, they seemed like a happy family. But inside, things were falling apart. Mark and Suzy's marriage had grown cold. They barely spoke, and when they did, it was often in anger. Mark began spending more time with Cynthia, claiming he was helping her with her university assignments. Suzy noticed the shift. Mark's glances at Cynthia lingered too long, and he always found excuses to be near her. One evening, Suzy walked into the living room and found them sitting too close, laughing about something. Cynthia looked uncomfortable, but Mark was leaning in, his intentions clear. "Mark, what is going on here?" Suzy demanded, her voice sharp. Mark didn't hide it. "I've made up my mind. I don't love you anymore, Suzy. Cynthia and I." "Don't you dare finish that sentence!" Suzy screamed, her voice cracking with pain. Despite her protests, Mark filed for divorce. Within months, he and Cynthia moved into a new apartment, leaving Suzy heartbroken and humiliated. The news spread quickly, and the community buzzed with outrage. People whispered about Mark's betrayal, some blaming Cynthia, others shaking their heads at Mark's lack of morals. At first, Mark and Cynthia seemed happy. But cracks began to show. Cynthia became withdrawn, refusing to speak to Mark. When friends visited, she avoided them, embarrassed by the situation. Mark's new life started falling apart. His business deals began to fail as clients distanced themselves, uncomfortable with his scandalous actions. Meanwhile, Cynthia couldn't escape the shame of being seen as the woman who destroyed her mother's marriage. One evening, after months of tension, Cynthia packed her bags. "I can't do this anymore," she told Mark. "This isn't right." It never was. She returned to her mother, who welcomed her with tears, but no words of judgment. Cynthia's regret was evident, and Suzy, though still wounded, chose to focus on rebuilding her life. Mark was left alone, isolated and ruined by his own choices. His story became a lesson in the community, a reminder that betrayal and selfishness often lead to loneliness and regret. Suzy and Cynthia moved forward, stronger together. As for Mark, his name became a warning, a tale of a man who lost everything chasing what he should never have desired.